Well, welcome to class, everybody. My name is Dr. Kevin Glavin. I'm a full-time assistant professor at Nova Southeastern University at the main campus in Fort Lauderdale, and I will be your instructor for career and lifestyle assessment. You can contact me through my email address, kg585@nova.edu, but please, with all class correspondence, make sure that you contact me through WebCT. That's the policy of the university. So this first lecture will be a welcome and introduction to the class. I will add or try to add audio to most of the slides, because within the slides, what I've done is I've taken the best pieces out of your book and some of the material that I've gathered together over the years and tried to put them together into a more holistic course for you. So I'm really looking forward to working with you, and let's begin. Okay, well, let us begin. What we'll cover here is a quick review of the syllabus. The chapter that you should be reading for Module 1 is Chapter 1, Introduction to Career Development Interventions. We'll talk a little bit about career instruments, and I'll tell you how to access vocopher, because some of the instruments that you need to use are on this website. And we'll talk a little bit about the concept of life role salience. Now, I'm not going to go over the syllabus in a great amount of detail, because it's actually quite a long, detailed syllabus that you can read in your own time, and you can post messages in the main forum or email me directly if you have questions. The purpose of the Career and Lifestyle Assessment course is for me to teach you several different career counselling theories and interventions and career counselling techniques. I'll also talk a little bit about special populations and how to work with them as well. One thing that the students are very interested in is how you're going to pass this course. Well, there are 200 points available to you. 60 points are for discussion forums. Every module will contain a discussion forum topic, and I will post a topic. For example, I might say, compare and contrast these two theories of career counselling and guidance. Then your job is to reply to that posting. Now, you don't have to make the posting several pages long. A paragraph or a couple of paragraphs would suffice. So you will reply to that posting. Then you will look at the postings from the other students in the class, and you will reply to 2 other postings. Therefore, in total, every week or for every module, you will be replying and posting 3 postings of your own. You will get 2 points per posting. 3 times 2 is 6 points. There will be 10 modules, and therefore 10 times 6 is 60 points. You will also have to write a paper on STEM careers, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics. That will be discussed in detail in the syllabus. You have to complete a number of career inventories, also discussed in the syllabus. And then you will have a midterm and a final. Those midterms and finals will be on WebCT. And we will do a quick review for them before you actually have to sit the final and the midterm. There will be 50 questions each, and there will be multiple choice options. So you will get 50 points per exam, equaling a total of 100 points. So why is career important to begin with? Well, from your chapter, you should be looking at, what is career? How are people defining it? What do you personally think about career counselling? Historically, career counselling, or the career counselling class, has been taught by new faculty. And one of the problems there has been that career is typically being seen as one of the boring subjects, and people question whether or not it's really can be considered a mental health concern. And hopefully by the end of this class, you will realize that career counselling is no different from any other counselling. It can become a mental health issue for a number of people. However, when new faculty do come in and teach the class, they've probably not been taught properly themselves. They may not have the enthusiasm for teaching career, and therefore that flows down to the students, and it's kind of a vicious cycle because students therefore don't become enthusiastic about it either. Those students may move on to higher education, become new faculty themselves. They're given the career class because no one else wants to teach it, and then we kind of have this vicious circle. So in a sense we're fortunate here because my specialty area is career counselling and I love the topic, so hopefully you'll benefit from that. Also in the past there's been a tendency to do what we call test them and tell them, where people administer inventories to clients who come in and say, you know, I don't know what I want to do, can you give me a test and basically tell me what occupation I would best fit into. And that can be a bit of a problem because that's a mis-expectation from the client. It's not necessarily that simple. It's the way that career counselling has been traditionally done in the past, test them and tell them. And through this course I'm going to show you how we can go a little bit deeper and find out information that career inventories alone cannot necessarily tell us. So there are many groups that understand why career counselling is important. For example, the American School Counselors Association identified career development as one of 3 key areas essential to the work of school counsellors. Unfortunately, school counsellors don't necessarily have the time to do career counselling. A lot of their work is in guidance and advising. Another reason why career is important is that it's complex. If you think about your own personal life right now, we live complex lives. We have multiple roles. So for example, the roles that you might be involved in right now, you may have children, therefore you're a mother or a father. You'll be a son, a daughter. You're a student, obviously, because you're in this class. You're a worker, you're a leisureite. So we live complex lives, and work is just a part of that. And one of the things that we're looking at nowadays is how do we fit work into people's lives versus fitting people into work. And basically, when we're starting off teaching students how to do career counselling, we require that you fall back on your basic counselling micro skills. And the research suggests that the most effective factor in a counselling relationship is the relationship itself, and that's going to determine whether or not counselling is actually successful. So can you establish rapport? Can you engage in reflective listening? Can you express empathy? Can you show the individual that you understand where they're coming from? And that is a basic good starting point. So just how complex is the career process? Well, it's become a lot more complex because the world of work has changed. This idea of there being a career where maybe past generations have worked in for 20, 25 years is no longer there. It's very unlikely that the career that you're in right now will be the career that you're in 20 years from now. So some of the things that we want people to engage in is to continuously learn new skills. We have to help people learn to change and to change with the times, but also to tolerate the ambiguity of this new world of work. We need to help people acquire and use occupational information, teach them how to interact competently with their workers, and like I said earlier, adjust quickly to the changing work demands. The world of work is changing at a rate greater than we've ever seen before, and the people that will be successful in the future will be the ones who can adapt accordingly in a timely manner. Here we'll talk a wee bit about the meaning of work and how careers actually came into existence. And in America, at least, it's an important source of one's identity. Mark Savickas and Donald Super talked about work being the implementation of one's self-concept. Now what that means is that the work that you do allows you to implement who you are. So for example, if you are skilled with talking to other people, if you like helping other people, then maybe you want to be a teacher, or obviously in this class you want to be a counselor. So if you do have those good listening skills, those teaching skills, and you have emotional intelligence, empathic understanding, then a job as a teacher or a counselor would allow you to implement that self-concept. People get into trouble when they can't implement their self-concept in a work role, and when that work role is important to them. Because if work is the implementation of the self-concept, and you cannot find work that allows you to do what you want to do, then you will not be allowed to be who you are in a work role. Also in America, it's a status symbol. One of the first questions that most people ask others is, what do you do? And then based on that, people make certain assumptions. So shifting gears just a little bit here, I'm going to talk about where careers really began. And prior to careers, we had people working on the farms. And when you worked on the farm, you didn't just have one job. Maybe you milked the cows, you herded the sheep, you made dinner, you raised crops, but there wasn't one specific job that you would do, and that's all that you would do. You basically did everything. However, with industrialization and urbanization, people started moving from the farms and into the cities. And at that point, there were specific jobs. With industrialization and urbanization, companies were created. Jobs specifically were created for certain outcomes, occupations were created, and then career was born. Now as time has moved on, with companies being created, we had the emergence of this corporate ladder, where basically you have a linear process whereby you work hard and you climb these steps of the corporate ladder. As you do so, you get paid more, and you increase your skills. It was also the start of the career ethic, which was this idea of find your fit and don't quit, which is why a lot of people used to have careers that spanned 20-25 years. And success was really defined at that point by a long tenure on the job and by climbing as high as you can along that or up that corporate ladder. Many individuals have realized how important the meaning of work is to individuals, and it can actually have a very existential component. For example, Freud suggested that work is the individual's link to reality. You also have to remember, though, that work has different meanings for other individuals in different time periods, in different cultures, in different life situations. SES on this slide stands for socio-economic status. The first question is, will I work? And then the next question is, well, what work will I do? So I don't always assume that work is the most important thing in an individual's life. I do understand, however, that most of us have to work at some point in time, and therefore I will at some point address in a counselling situation, just how important is work for somebody. If it's not an issue, then I'll let that go. But if it is an issue, then we will explore it further.